Good morning, Capulets and Montagues, from the east side to the west side, from Beantown to the five boroughs. This is the RJ Athletes of the Week video. Something special this week. It's the rivalry week. Deja vu all over again. Collector's edition version of the RJ Athletes of the Week video for obvious reasons now. You see the Sox hat? You see the Yankee logo here on the shirt? We had the Sox Yanks last week. We had Lyman, Hall, and Sheehan down in Wallingford playing each other in lacrosse and in track and in golf. And of course here on Monday we had Platt Maloney playing softball and baseball against one another. So a lot of rivalry games out there this past week. And it's also been a lot of deja vu out there. We've had some very uncanny occurrences in terms of some appearances by pitchers, some results in baseball games. And even on Monday, oddly enough, we had two milestones. We had Maloney softball coach Scott Oresko win his 250th career game, and we had Wilcox Tech baseball coach Dave Cronin win his 200th. So all of these rivalry games, all of this crazy deja vu, obviously proves without a doubt, without question, that the harmonic convergence, the harmonic balancing point of the very universe is, without question, the Lord of Little Falls, New Jersey, the man who has played in more World Series games and has won more World Series than anybody ever, and has more hits in the World Series than anybody, Mr. Peter Yogi Berra himself, is that harmonic center of the universe. And this is coming from a Red Sox fan, which is why this is also the collector's edition of the Record Journal Athlete of the Week video, because this is, without question, absolutely positively, the first and last time I ever wear a Yankees jersey in my life. But I've got it on courtesy of Michael Tomaselli. Michael, thank you very much. I'll tip my Red Sox cap to you. I appreciate you letting me use your Mickey Mantle jersey here. And Liz White and Elliot White, I appreciate you letting us use your photos of you and Yogi Berra, to whom this show is dedicated. We also have, just so if Pete wants to zoom up on this, this is a signed ball from Don Larson and Yogi Berra. Of course, the only perfect game ever pitched in the World Series, 1956. Larson pitched it, Yogi caught it. There, I'm done praising the Yankees. That part of the show is over, folks. We're moving on to our winners from Week 3 and our nominees from Week 4 here in Rivalry Week. Now, one thing Yogi has said, among many witticisms attributed to him, is, of course, that baseball is 90% mental and the other half of it is physical. Well, with these videos, 90% of it is me babbling here behind the table, and the other 50% of it, certainly the best half of it, is Shawnee Crossick being out in the field doing videos with our winners. Now, this week the question was, where would Shawnee be when it came to the boys' winners? Would he be out on a baseball field with Nick Sarasali, Sheehan pitcher, who, remember, speaking about deja vu all over again, won a pair of 2-1 games back-to-back? Or would Sean be out on the golf course with Pat Doherty from the Lyman Hall golf team? Or would he be on the lacrosse field with Tim Hoynes of Cheshire Lacrosse? Well, the results are in, and we are pleased to announce that our winner is, from the world of golf, Pat Doherty from Lyman Hall. So we sent Sean down to the tradition where the Trojans practice, and he hooked up with Mr. Pat Doherty on Wednesday for some interview and some little impromptu lessons. Take a look.
I'm here with the Athlete of the Week, Pat Doherty. He's a member of the golf team here at Lyman Hall, and we're going to have a putting contest. All right, so I learned a little something from that. A little left. Oh. Took a stab at it. It's pretty good. Nice putt. Oh. Very nice. No. Wow. Nice putt.
That's a good one too.
It could be worse.
It's gonna be good. Ooh, you got me there.
So what was your biggest match so far this year?
Definitely against Sheehan.
Yeah.
Big
That was
rivalry.
yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday. Nice one. He's doing great. He's reading all the breaks well. Put it right around the hole. Definitely use the shoulders a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. It was a big advantage going second. I got to see everything that he was doing, and you could tell he knows what he's doing out there. So I tried to read his ball a little bit and see what I was doing, but I got my butt kicked.
Hope you enjoyed that segment from The Tradition with Pat Doherty and our very own Sean Krofsick. I have to be honest, after last week's javelin lesson, I was quite relieved to learn that Sean would be out on the golf course, where his odds of impaling himself or passers-by was greatly reduced. So we thank Coach Michael Blake and Pat Doherty of the Lyman Hall golf team for letting us come down on Wednesday to shoot. And now we move over to our girls winners. We've come to the fork in the road. We must take it. If you remember, we had the 3 M's from the world of softball last week. We had Platt pitcher Machaila Arjavich. We had Southington catcher Mairead Scaffarello. It's Mairead Scaffarello. I knew I was going to screw it up sooner or later. Mairead Scaffarello from Southington High School softball, and also from Lyman Hall, Madison Shura. Results are in, and our winner was Machaila Arjavich. Platt High School. We caught up with her on Monday when she and the Panthers took on the Maloney Spartans in their rivalry game over on the west side. Take a look.
I'm Machaila Arjavich from Platt High School, and I'm the Female Record Journal Athlete of the Week. We're doing good. I feel like we got a lot better as a team. We're talking more, and I think our hitting has improved a lot. I have a fastball, changeup, screwball, drop, and curve. I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, triples, doubles. It was great, actually. That triple, we needed it. Just being on a team, and you have so many friends because of your teammates and everything, and just I love playing the game. It's fast paced. Painting, it's just fun, and I like to recreate old art and everything. But I'm proud that we're 4 and 5 now. I think we just keep improving.
Okay, that was Machaila Arjavich. Now that was after Monday's 6-5 8-inning loss to Maloney. So if she was a little taciturn, you can understand why. A tough loss for Platt, but it was a great game. That's what the rivalry games are all about. And that brings us to our nominees for Week 4, as Yogi would say. We're going to pair them up by threes. We're going to start with the girls. We're going to go right back to the west side, that Platt-Maloney game. And our first nominee from the Maloney Spartans. There was a couple of good games turned in by the Spartans against the Panthers. We are going to go with junior outfielder Anna Hendrickson. Now, Anna doubled, and she also tripled in this game. Now, the triple, this thing was beautiful. She had a stand-up triple, and she gets to third. She goes down the baseline a little bit. The Platt kids kind of turn their back on her, thinking of the play's over. Anna takes off, steals home, boom, run on the scoreboard for the Maloney Spartans. They beat the Platt Panthers 6-5 in 8 innings, get a much-needed win for themselves, and also get Coach Scott Oresco his 250th career win. Congratulations to you, Scott. Sticking in the world of softball, we go over to Cheshire. Also on Monday, Cheshire beat Lyman Hall 6-3, and that was their 10th win of the season against no losses. Cheshire has not lost now in 37 games. Of course, they are the defending state class double L champs. They're 10-0. And once again, with Cheshire, we run into this every time with this team. It's like, who do we pick from Cheshire? They have so many good players. We draw up a list. We chart everything. Over the past week, they beat Amity, they beat Ferrand, and of course, they beat Lyman Hall. So we marked everything up, and at the end, it was really, really close. We came down to 2 sophomores, Brianna Floyd and Mia Judatis. And we're going to go with Brianna Floyd, good player. Again, a young kid, hasn't lost a varsity game yet. She was 7 for 11 last week with 5 RBIs. But I got to tell you, Mia Judatis, this kid is probably the best athlete in our area who is yet to be an athlete of the week. Mia, you hang tough, kid, because you're going to get your turn. You know, you're like my kid's Scooby-Doo videos at the library. Overdue. Also over in Cheshire, and perhaps a little overdue as well, though not as much as Mia, is Cheshire baseball team. They had some tough losses, and then they reeled off 4 wins in a row. Now get this. In 2 of the wins against Notre Dame West Haven last Friday, and then the next day against North Haven, Cheshire wins 4-3. But that's just the start of it. In both games, they were up 3-zip going into the 6th inning, bottom of the 6th. At which point, they gave up 3 runs that tied the game. This happened against Notre Dame and the very next day against North Haven. 3-zip lead disappears bottom of the 6th. They go to the top of the 7th, and Cheshire winds up scoring the winning run in the top of the 7th each game, but only after the initial attempt at a run was thrown out at the plate in the top of the 7th. How weird is that? Deja vu all over again. You can't make this stuff up. So a little side note there from Cheshire's softball team 10-0, and Bill Maroka's baseball team riding that cosmic vibe out there with Yogi. They were taking a 4-game win streak into their action on Tuesday. Moving over to Wallingford, we had a big rivalry week there with lacrosse and track. All of this was on Friday, which made things very hectic for us on deadline. I can personally attest to that. The track, it was a split there. So was the lacrosse doubleheader. That was a split played at Lyman Hall. In the first game, the boys won 10-6, and in the nightcap, the girls won from Sheehan 16-8. Our third and final girls nominee from week 4 is from Sheehan, and it's a name you've probably heard if you've been following lacrosse since Wallingford adopted it or brought it up to varsity status 4 years ago. And her name is Emily Giacondino. She is a senior midfielder, big scorer. She had 75 goals last year, 75. She had 4 on Friday night against Lyman Hall to lead the Titans to their 16-8 win. She now has 15 on the season. She'll be continuing her career next year at AIC with her twin sister, Natalie. So, Emily Giacondino, Sheehan Girls Lacrosse, wraps up our list of nominees for Athletes of the Week, week 4. Moving over to the boys, we just switched the tables around as we so often do in Wallingford. The Lyman Hall boys, as I mentioned, won 10-6, and their main man that night was the kid in goal, the sophomore, Ryan Nemick. He made 21 saves, and I guess he really stood on his head for a lot of them. Some saves he turned into counterattacks, and then on Monday, he made 22 saves against Jonathan Law. So hands down, there was a lot of good performances from the Lyman Hall Trojans in their win against Sheehan and against Law again on Monday. We're going with Ryan Nemick, sophomore. Second boys nominee here in week 4. We go back to the world of golf. This has been a rich mine for us this season because so many teams and so many guys are playing so well. We saw Pat Doherty from our earlier video clip. Sheehan is playing very well. In fact, Sheehan beat the Trojans twice this past week. The boys up at Platt are playing very well. They're going to get their turn, no doubt, very soon. The problem is all 4 of their main guys are playing so well, I don't know who it's going to be. This week, we're going over to Southington. Here's a team that just got hit by severe graduation losses. They had a couple guys who were 4-year standouts. They all graduated together. But you know what? Coach Jim Dinello, his team hasn't lost a beat. They got a guy like Nate LaRue. He's a senior. He had a 3-match stretch last week where he shot a 36, 38, 36. These are 9-hole matches, of course, but wrap your head around that. 36, 38, 36. In that stretch, he hit 20 of 27 greens in regulation. He hit 16 of 27 fairways in regulation, and his per-hole putt average was less than 2. I'm not a golfer, but I know the sport, and those are some pretty great numbers for a high school kid. Nate LaRue, you are our nominee from Southington Golf for week 4. And again, like I mentioned, the Platt guys are playing well. They won the first All-Meriton match on Monday. They've been shooting in the low 60s. Jake Garlock, Jacob Doyon, Adrian Janko, and Drew Siebert. These are 4 guys. I don't know how I'm going to pick these guys. We might have to put all 4 of them at one time, Pete, and put their little faces all together. But this week, we're going to turn our attention when it comes to Platt, to the Platt baseball team. They played baseball against Maloney on Monday night up at Seppet Field, and they snapped a 4-game losing streak to the Spartans, and they won pretty handily too, 8-1, and they won behind Carson Kuhn, their junior right-handed pitcher. Carson was phenomenal in this game. The kid threw a 3-hitter, struck out 12. My man Pete Paguaga thinks it was actually 13 strikeouts. We can double check that. Either way, the kid was firing all night. He had the circle change going, his curve, his four-seam fastball. Only the pitch count kept him from getting a complete game. He came out with 2 outs in the 6th. But phenomenal performance for Carson Kuhn. He is 4-0 on the season. He's a junior right-hander. He also had a big 3-run double at the plate as Platt beat Maloney 8-1. With Carson's performance, it got late very early for Maloney on Monday night. The one unfortunate thing about Kuhn's performance is it stole some thunder from Maloney's Nick Palumbo, who was a finalist for this week's contest. Nick Palumbo, here's another thing. He had 2 starts last week and the week before against Bristol Central and Rocky Hill. Threw 3 hitters in both games. Both games ended up 5-1, and in both games, Palumbo threw virtually the same number of pitches. It was upper 80s. Coach Howie, you wasn't exactly sure of the exact count. We're talking 87, 88. So you talk about more deja vu all over again. Yogi, we can't escape you, brother. And there you have it, folks. Our 6 nominees for this week's Record Journal Athletes of the Week, Week 4 contest. Please go online. The polls are now open. It is Thursday morning when you are watching this. The contest continues through Monday at midnight. Please go support your folks. And remember, anybody nominated for the Record Journal Athlete of the Week contest is eligible to apply for the Wallingford Buick GMC $5,000 scholarship that we'll be giving out at the Record Journal Best of the Bunch Awards Brunch on June 25th at the AquaTurf. Rebecca Lobo is our guest speaker. You go on recordjournal.com, you can order tickets. Anybody who has been an Athlete of the Week nominee, a Scholar Athlete, or an All Record Journal team selection automatically gets invited. In fact, a lot of the invitations will be coming in the mail this coming week, so look for that. And that's about a wrap for this week. I'd like to thank Ralph Tomaselli, and allowing me to wear his son's uniform. I've kept it nice and clean. I like to thank Elliot White and Liz White for the use of their memorabilia. Elliot, I'll handle this very carefully, getting it back to your office. But I have to say, Pete, all this time we've been filming here, I felt haunted. I don't know if it's talking about the deja vu, but I feel there's been a presence over my shoulder, and it's, oh dear God in heaven. That's it. The shirt's coming off. The collector's edition is over. It ain't over till it's over. It's over. Good night, folks.